Nigeria have started their 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations campaign, getting a solid 3-0 win against Tunisia. So this campaign is called the Mission X, which is X standing for 10, because they are chasing after the WAFCON trophy number 10. They've won it 9 times, 9 out of 13, which is an incredible number. But for this game itself, I think it was a great, perfect way to start the competition, chasing especially trophy number 10. And let's just start from the very early minute in the game when Asisat Oshoala got the very first goal for Nigeria after only 3 minutes. After just 3 minutes. And this goal was so important because, one, Nigeria coming into this tournament had a lot of expectations on them. So you needed an early goal as such to sort of stamp the authority on the game and show that you are truly Nigeria. Because if the game had traveled to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, without them getting a goal, they could dominate the play, they could create their chances, but then it was going to be an increase of pressure on the Nigerian team. So the very early goal was so important, so important for Nigeria, and to allow them to be stable, to calm down, to ease a bit of the pressure of them, to be able to flow and play their normal football, which they did perfectly after. And even to the goal itself, you could say it was perfect experience goal nicked in by, that is, Asisat Oshoala, because she took the goal and she managed to sandwich herself between two players of Tunisia who were all going for the ball. And she got just a little touch, which was enough to guide the ball into the back of the net. This experience speaking. Before the tournament, there had been a lot of critics on Oshoala saying she was past her prime, she shouldn't be in the tournament, in the team, she shouldn't be starting. But 3 minutes, that's all she needed to show her, hey, I'm a 6-time African Footballer of the Year. I'm playing my 5th WAFCON, and I am the 2nd all-time top scorer for Nigeria. And these days, she's still active. She's actively playing football. So telling her critics that she's still available, she's still around, she's still Oshoala, and lifting the pressure of her entire team, which for me was the most important goal of the game because it gave Nigeria the ability to play their normal game. Then there was also Babajide Rinsola, who got a goal and assist. She actually got the assist for the first goal, a very good free kick she took. Then got the second goal too for Nigeria. And it was surprising because this is actually her first ever game of the WAFCON. Since switching to play for Nigeria, former England under-21 player, but since switching to play for Nigeria, this is the first time she was coming to play at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And it didn't show. You couldn't tell whether it was her first time or not because she simply controlled and owned the game for Nigeria. Then there was also Chiwendi Hezu, who got a goal for Nigeria. She actually has been playing for Nigeria since 2016, but has been at 3 separate WAFCON tournaments. So she was at the WAFCON in 2018, she was there in 2022, and finally in 2024, which is in 2025, by the way, she has gotten her first ever WAFCON goal for Nigeria. So it was a debut goal for Hezu, a debut goal for, that is, Babajide, and then we also had Oshoala doing what she does best, scoring goals, coming in very clutch, teaching her critics that I may not play the good football I used to play back in the days, but when it comes to the goals, knowing where to be at the right place at the right time, she does it perfectly. But for me, there is a concern about how Rasheedat Ajibade was really unable to step up in this game because I think she's one of the players Nigeria will be depending on, especially as we get further into the tournament, when it gets tougher, when the challenge gets harder. She's one of the players expected to be the differential players for Nigeria. So not being able to really step up in the very first game and build her confidence with games like this, especially when Nigeria had 3 goals and would have maybe even scored more. I think maybe that's one thing they will look to correct from their second good game onwards. But let's have a word about the referee in this game. I think her refereeing was perfect. When Nigeria scored the second goal for, that is, Rinsola Babajide, there was a foul committed in the process, and she was called to the VAR to review it. But then she checked it, and you could hear from the TV saying that the player being fouled has no contacts, no effects on the goal being scored. She's like way off somewhere and she's getting fouled. There's no way she can run all the way to block the shots. There's no way she could have had any effect on the goal. So she gave the goal. And then in the second half, also a penalty call for Tunisia. She was called to check it up, and then she checked it, and after checking it, she was about to give the penalty, but then she told the VAR to send the video a bit back They sent it back and then she saw a foul in the process. So in the end, she gave a foul to Nigeria, which for me, I think was excellent refereeing from her. She handled the game perfectly well and the referee on the day. But one bit about this game too was how football really connects humanity together. So this was Asisa Toshala in the game. She was wearing a band on her hand which had the name of Peter Rufai, the former Nigeria player who passed on a few days ago. And even at this WAFCON, we've been having minute silence in almost all the games for him. Then this is also Winsila Babajide, who, when she scored a goal at a celebration, during the celebration of Diego Jota, the former Liverpool player who also passed on a few weeks ago. So that's because Babajide is a former Liverpool player herself. In 2022, she was at Liverpool when Jota was also at Liverpool. So two players really paying tribute to two footballers who we've lost the past week, which is a beautiful thing, seeing how football connects humanity all together. But in everything, first game for Nigeria, 3 points, 3 goals, clean sheets, which is very important. And I think it's a good start for the Super Falcons, especially building their confidence when the game gets tougher with time. But let me know your thoughts also about this game in the comment section.